Hello everyone, my name is Legend Ronnie and this game is Rise of Kingdoms. And today we're gonna talk about your road towards your T5 troops. You wanna unlock T5 troops, you wanna know a little bit more about what should you expect from your T5 troops in terms of cost, research, what buildings you need to upgrade and all that kind of things. Well, this is pretty much the video we're gonna talk about, including healing, because that is a major factor that you want to look into when you're unlocking your T5s or training your new T5s. So this is the video that I'm pretty much going to try to explain the best way I can about the research and everything there is to know on either your road to your T5, or if you're planning to unlock T5, what should be your expectation. So the first things you want to know about T5 is pretty much you want to know the buildings. If you are not City Hall 25, you shouldn't actually even think about T5 right now because you're pretty much very far away from T5. But if you are City Hall 25, you're not really that far away. So City Hall 25 is obviously a requirement, then it's obviously a couple more buildings, but the most important building to actually unlock your T5s is Academy to 25. Now that sounds pretty easy, right? Like, you know, just a building and then you unlock T5. Well, there's a lot of research until then, and there's a lot of research after Academy level 25, so you can unlock your T5 troops. That means that a lot of speed ups is actually involved into the process. Now, as part of the building, since this is what we were talking about, in order to get your academy to 25, you need your castle to 25. That is a requirement for the academy. Now, this is one of your most expensive buildings in the game. The reason I'm saying that this is one of the most expensive buildings in the game is because in order to upgrade it, you need Book of Covenant. And just for the last 3 levels, the 23 level cost 2,500, the 24 level cost 3,000, and the 25 level cost 5,000. That is a total of 10,500 books just on the last 3 levels. If you want to do that in gems, that's 100k gems, which is an insane amount of gems. I actually managed to get this done on one of my free-to-play accounts, so I pretty much know how expensive it is and the things that I have to go through to actually get this done. So in order to get your castle to 25, there is also a couple of other requirements. It's the Alliance Center, and I believe it's also the Siege Workshop. And in order to get the Siege Workshop, you need the other army buildings, and for the other army buildings, you need the lumber mill. So pretty much, in short, you need one of each building to 25. The academy requirement is actually the watchtower to 25, but in order to get the watchtower to 25, it requires the storehouse to 25. Now, in order to get the storehouse to 25, it requires a hospital to 25. And here comes the part where you require the castle, because in order to get a hospital to 25, you need your castle to 25. I hope I didn't mess up the order. I pretty much, that's how I remember it. Obviously, I've done this like a year ago and I've done it recently on my alt, so this is pretty much how I remember it. But like I said, in short, you need one of each building, and this is the most expensive building. So actually having gems and actually spending gems into the castle, that's something you must do. A lot of players just found forts because that's where you can get Book of Covenants, but that's not enough. That is not enough. I always advise killing barbarians and actually making gems from the barbarians. So spending your daily action points into barbarians and using the gems for the books, I personally find that the best way. There's a couple of other ways. There's various of events into the game where you can actually get gems, obviously not the Wheel of Fortune, but there is events like the Sharp Eye. You guys all know the puzzle event. If you do 3-star on that puzzle, you get 200 gems. And there's always 3 of them. So that's 600 gems you can make just from that event, just because you're doing some puzzle and you have to 3-star it, meaning you have to do it in 2 minutes. A lot of options how you can actually get get gems. It's also KVK. It depends. For free to play, trust me when I say this, it is a huge factor KVK. If your kingdom is on the winning side, because it's usually alliances that actually win in a KVK, kingdom alliances, like either it's 4 versus 4 or 3 versus 5 or whichever combinations there is. Now with the new system it's pretty much 4v4 all the time. But if you're on the winning side, that's pretty much what gives you a lot of rewards. So KVK plays a very important role for you. A lot of free-to-play players do the mistake and spin the wheel a lot of times. So I want to give you guys some advices about the wheel, because pretty much it's worth it for free-to-play to just do like 10 spins. If your castle is 25, if your I don't know, VIP is probably at 14 already, then you can do a couple more spins. But actually spending gems on the wheel, that's something that free-to-play shouldn't do. A maximum of 10 spins per wheel, that's the maximum I would recommend until you summon the commander. If you summon the commander, that's pretty much about it. Now, in order to do the most effective 10 spins on the wheel so you can save up your gems, you have the free one, then you have the 3 of them which are 50% off each day, then you can use another full one, and after that you spin 5. So that is a total of 5,600 gems. You get your 10 spins, you get 5 gold heads, and hopefully you get some other gold heads on the way. If you actually get them on the 50% off spins or the free spins, you might be lucky with an 8 or something, then you can probably stop. That's all a free-to-play should actually do on a wheel. You need the gems for VIP and you need the gems for your castle. Other things that you need to do with your gems is in the courier station. Whenever you get 70% of army expansions in the mysterious merchant, that's about 1,500 gems. So let me just refresh this for the purpose of the video. Let's see if I'm lucky enough. No, I wasn't lucky enough, but you do get 70% off, and those ones you can actually purchase as well with gems, because you need them for war. You want to perform in war, you like to do field battles. No free-to-play likes to only do grinding and grinding and grinding. Everyone wants to enjoy the game as well, but that's the way you have to enjoy your game, using the proper army expansion. So there's a plethora of ways where you can actually spend your gems. As free-to-play is very crucial that you actually spend your gems properly. Because I get a lot of messages, and believe me when I tell you this, it might sound really crazy. A lot of players message me and telling me that they are waiting. They are on castle level, I don't know, 22, 23 or something. They are waiting to upgrade their castle because they have no research to do in the academy, because they need to upgrade their academy to 25 to finish their research. They've done all the research that they could possibly do as academy level 24. So that's a huge mistake. That is days that are passing by and you're not researching. That is a lot of speed ups that you're losing. Why? Because you spin some wheel, because you bought some other stuff, because you invested your gems wrong. Try to invest your gems properly. VIP and castle, try to keep a balance between them depending on how many research you have left on your academy. So you always need to keep a balance between your VIP and castle. For example, if you spend too much on your VIP and you completely neglect your castle, you can get to that point where you don't have nothing to research in the academy and you're literally waiting for gems, and you're probably desperately farming gems because you just need to upgrade that castle. After that, you go into the academy and obviously you want to know about the research. Now, unfortunately, in order to literally unlock your first T5, you have to finish your economy. You have to finish your economy technology, the pit quarry, the coinage, stone saw, machinery, chef mining, carriage, and cutting and polishing. As academy level 24, you can only do them 9 out of 10, meaning that 10 out of 10 you can only do them once you get your academy to level 25. So again, that's very important because it's gathering speed, like all gathering speed, and even more gathering speed, production, load, and gem farming if you're actually doing that, which you should as a free-to-play. After that, we go into the military technology, and literally you need from one line, starting from your tier 4 troops, you need this maxed out. You need combat tactics, defensive formation, herbal medicine, you need cartography. After that, let's say you want to focus on your T5 infantry. Obviously, you need this max. What still Scutum, you need it maxed. You need medical corps, encampment, combined arms, and then you can finally unlock your royal guard. Now the good part is that once you unlock your first T5, you pretty much done the majority of your research, which is phenomenal. That is awesome, and that is really great. Next time you want to unlock your next T5, all you have to do, let's say you want to do archers, maxed out Botkin arrow and Pavise, and you can unlock your T5 because you pretty much have this done, and you have this done, which is a lot. In terms of speed ups, they cost a lot, trust me. And it's same when you want to do your calves, you have all the majority things done, and then you unlock your calves. But in terms of speed ups, this is a tremendously large amount of speed ups to actually unlock them. But you might want to know what you need to get to actually unlock them is everything from the economy and almost everything from the military technology. Which obviously the requirement is Academy to 25 to actually get them 10 out of 10. Couple more things that you want to know about T5, and this is another mistake that a lot of free-to-play do, is after you unlock them. So after you unlock your T5, a lot of free-to-play players, they do the mistake of upgrading their T4 to T5. Now that is horribly wrong. And why is that? Is because one, you're free to play, and if someone tells you to join the rally and you say I only have T5 and they say join with T5, you're just gonna put your hands to your phone and gonna grab his neck and gonna go like, what did you say, you mother? Yeah, that's pretty much, considering the time and the effort you spend to actually unlocking your T5 and actually training some T5. Now this is the mistake that a lot of free-to-play do, is upgrading. Upgrading is totally wrong. If a pay-to-win does that, that's fine, let him do it. Whenever he wants, he can train a million T4 if he wants to, because he's paid to win. So for him, it's no problem. But for you, free to play, low spender, probably even medium spender, upgrading should never be in discussion. You train T5, you train T4, you use them for their purpose. T5, they are very good in arc, field battles, if you have the resources, obviously, and they are good at dying. But this is questionable because you just train some of your T5, which you know how long it took you to actually get that amount of speed ups to actually train your T5s. Right now I have in training 22,000 with a reserves, and that was for me was 16 days. So VIP 16 without having a civilization with 5% training, and it cost me 16 days as a time to actually train 22,000 T5 as a reserves, just in case you want to know as time to actually train T5s. So never upgrade. T5 have their utilities. You want to use them in arc, you want to use them in field battles if you have the resources. T4 also have their utilities. You can keep joining rallies, you can keep joining garrisons, because it's a requirement in an alliance. You can't say, well, I only have T5, I'm gonna sit out of this one. You cannot do that. You don't have your alliance to win KVK, then you don't get any rewards in the KVK. This is pretty much valid with all the troops. Even myself, they're probably noticing that I have a lot of tier 4 and T5 troops. I personally don't care about the T5. I put them in rallies, I put them in garrisons. The one that I don't use, like archers and infantry, it is for me, but I never upgrade. So I could easily upgrade, because I really don't have any use for this T4 rather than just pitting rally and infantry, but I never upgrade. I always train new. I rather increase my numbers, even if I don't increase it with that much. But just upgrading the same troops, it's a waste of speed ups. You're not increasing your numbers, you're just getting some more powerful troops by a little bit. So I hope you understand the idea behind it, of just always training new, because you increase your numbers. Now the final and the most important part about unlocking your T5, this is what you really want to know, is healing them. Alright, so I'm gonna do this very simple. I'm just gonna select 1,000 and I'm gonna get this to 0. So healing T4, you probably already know. I don't actually have to select 1,000, but you're noticing that very decent amount of resources, 26 seconds in time. So if I would have to heal like 100k of calves, that would be around 11 million food, that would be around 8 million stone, and that would be around 720k gold. So that's a very low amount of gold. Now the time is 26 minutes and 20 seconds. I do apologize. Now let's go on 1,000 elite conquistador, and that is a different breed of calves. In order to heal 100k conquistadors, that will be around 29 million food, that will be around 21.5 million stone, and that will be around 14.5 million gold. WTF to that? That is a large amount of resources compared with the conquistadors. And look at the heal time, 35 minutes. So 35 minutes versus 26 minutes is, pretty much the same. Obviously, the T5 troops, they bring way more value on the battlefield. They're way more powerful, but you also need to think sometimes in war about the cost effective. So if I go 1,000 over here, you pretty much almost don't see any difference. So healing 200k troops to 100k of T4 and 100k of T5, that's about 40 million food, that's about 30 million stone, and that's about 50 million gold. So yeah, definitely a lot of resources to actually heal. I imagine if you have a full hospital of T5, the numbers would grow exponentially. So this is something that you want to keep in mind unlocking T5, how many resources you actually need to heal. Now, a mistake that a lot of free-to-play do, and I doubt that a lot of them they actually do it, is doing cheap healing. Now, what does cheap healing means, or free healing, is actually just queuing up troops for the amount of helps that you can get in the alliance. So what I usually do in my alliance when I want to do free healing is I just do 1.5 hours. So 1.5 hours is equal to your alliance center, the amount of helps you can get in your alliance center. So it says here times you can be helped 30s. Each help reduced by 3 minutes. So 30 helps, that means 90 minutes, that's 1.5 hours. Now if your level is obviously lower on the alliance center, let's say it's 21, that means 75 minutes, that's 1 hour and 50 minutes. If you know that in the alliance you cannot get actually that many helps, it's very easy. You don't go 1.5 hours, you can just go 1 hour. 1 hour is 20 helps. You just go 1 hour, you get the 20 helps, and you keep going and you keep going, and that's free healing. Now obviously emptying a hospital, let's say of 500k like this, you literally have to do it about 200 times. But in the end, it's free healing. So if you have the time to invest in free healing, then go ahead and do it and save your speed ups. This is another advice I can give you whenever you heal, so you don't have to throw away your speed ups. Let the pay to win use the speed ups because they have it. And it's the same thing you can do with T5s. You can, when you have to heal them, if you have the resources, you just queue up like 1 hour, or I don't know, maybe you don't have 30 active people actually spamming the button at that time, or you can go even more, 1 hour and 50, 1 hour and 60. I haven't done that, especially during the night time when there's not a lot of people and there's not a lot of action happening. Everyone is just defending. I'm just doing like 1 hour and 15 or so on, or I'm just doing 1 hour, so I'm trying to save my speed ups as much as I can, even during war. That's a pretty good advice. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about this. I just want to give you guys some insights, some tips and advices, because I know a lot of players throw their gems away, invest a lot in commanders, and then they get stuck with their buildings, which is a big issue for free-to-play not actually researching. In the end, commanders help a lot. The entire game is based on commanders. So I totally get it when free-to-play want to have legendaries, they want easy ways to get legendary sculptures. They want more sculptures, they want to have more upgraded legendaries or even expertise legendaries. I totally get it. But having max technology, that's also a big plus on your troops. Having the stats, because it's also a stat game. Stacking stats more and more, also trying to get to max technology, that's also something that you don't want to neglect. You know, you want to keep it in mind. And like I said, keeping the castle and the VIP on the same level, like don't spend too much on the VIP, but also don't overspend on the castle, then be stuck at VIP 10 or something like that. You know, this also some parameters that you want to look into. I hope you do find this video very helpful, and you will find a lot of things very helpful in this video. Until next time, this is your boy Geroni signing off, and I'll see you guys with your T5s on the next battle. Peace out, yo, and take care.